Hey everybody. All right, so I don't know if this video will actually stay up because, sometimes depending on your ideas, things get taken down or what have you. But I do want to share with you the what I see as being the worst part of what's been going on with the pandemic and whatnot. Um, I talk with a lot of people, and people come to me in a very open way to share how they're feeling and what they're struggling with. And so I want to share with you a little bit of what I see, and then I want to share with you three things that you can do regardless of where you're at and what you're trying to achieve, even if it's just some peace of mind that might help you. So, uh, what I see, regardless of where you're at on what's been going on, and is I see a lot of division. And obviously, you see this too, right? Obviously, you're not blind. There's It seems like a game of picking sides, and I think that's one of the most damaging things we can do to ourselves. Uh, I literally had somebody tell me the other day through message. They said, my mom passed away recently, but I don't know where you are in terms of how do you feel about the shot. So I'll just leave it at that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry your mom passed away. My goodness. Like, regardless of how anybody feels about anything, like, that's at a human level. Like, my heart goes out to you, right? And but the point is that we are willing to shut someone out based on how they may feel about something, forgetting completely that at the end of the day, guys, and before you have thoughts on political issues or what have you, before any of that, we are human beings. And if we forget about that. And if we forget that we feel things the same way that somebody across the aisle in the political spectrum, or regardless of ideology, race, you name it, like, we're human beings before we're aligned with any of that, right? I think that division is far more damaging than anything that a shot could do, or a government can do. So um, if you tag along the isolation that that we've that we've uh, that we've found ourselves in, right? Of course, some of that is hasn't been in our hands, with the lockdowns and what have you. But cutting people out from our lives, that further isolates ourselves, right? And ultimately, of course, that can be driven by fear or anger, right? You could say that depending on where you sit in all of this, um, it could be driven by fear of, like, oh my God, what if I go out there and I catch something, or anger from, like, oh, how dare this government do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what drove you there. If you find yourselves feeling more alone, more isolated, that shit takes a toll on you, right? And I think I'm noticing in a lot of these conversations, guys, I have more than 100 conversations going on at any given time, and that's why I decided to make this video. It doesn't have anything to do with you losing weight or anything like that. It has everything to do with not forgetting that at the end of the day, we're all human, and that it doesn't matter where your ideas land. If we lose our ability to connect with each other, if we lose our ability to understand and accept each other as human beings, before we try to align ourselves, or compare how we think, we lose way more than our ability to go to a restaurant without showing proof of vaccination or what have you. We lose way more than that, especially because the mandates may disappear. What remains? How do you heal that, right? So okay, what can we do then? I see three things that you can do to improve on that, to help you with that. If you feel consumed by what's going on, if you feel you can't think about anything else, here are three things that you can do. Number one, change your inputs. Okay. I know you may be like, well, duh, but change. If what you're watching, if what you're hearing is not making you feel good, change it. Turn off the TV. Change the people that you follow, right? If your friend, if your dad shares shit on Facebook or wherever you are that makes you feel lost, sad, afraid, angry, alone, unfollow it. Unfollow it. You are in control of your inputs. So change that, right? I'm not talking about change the channel to the other channel that may be talking about the other side. No, I'm not saying that. I'm literally saying you can choose what you pay attention to. And it's not about ignoring, it's about taking care of, like, curating your internal space first. How could you possibly have a positive impact on anybody else out there if you yourself are just constantly bombarded by things that make you feel more afraid, alone, and what have you, right? So that's number one. Number two goes a little bit hand in hand, but that's control the controllable, right? Okay, we we feel we feel lost. This weighs on us. It's difficult. It's sad. It's Yes, I hear you. What can you control, right? Depending on where you live, um, that might look a little bit different, right? At least in Canada, you can go out for a walk, right? You can go and sit by the water. You can go for a walk in the woods. You can try to you can go for a run. You can do a workout, create some endorphins. You can journal. You can have a good conversation with a friend. You can have a bath. You can read a book. You can, like, there's a lot that you can do, right? You know what I do sometimes? I literally go to happynews.com. I'm like, you know what? My brain needs a dose of, like, good shit that's happening in the world. Happynews.com. Literally, people freaking helping each other, puppies being rescued, and like people, finding like thousands of dollars and returning them to their owners. Like, control the controllable, right? Certainly stop engaging in behaviors that push you further down the hole, right? For example, I feel afraid, I feel alone, I feel isolated, I feel angry. I got nothing else to do at night, so I put shit in my body. I don't move my body. I don't engage in good heartfelt conversations with people that have similar goals to mine. Well, then that's definitely going to push you down that hole, right? It's going to make it harder for you to feel good. So there you go. Change your inputs. Number two, control the controllable. And number three, believe it or not, community. Community is important. Community helps you. Like, isolated, like, when I say community, I don't mean um, I don't mean communities where you further divide, where you don't when you're not left feeling, when you don't exit that interaction feeling better, lighter, happier, right? More at peace. Let that feeling guide you. It should be a community where you're like, man, that was awesome. And interesting. We didn't touch on shots, mandates, lockdowns. That's what you need. That's what helps. Community. Regardless of how soon or how we get out of this craziness, community is extremely important. That is what remains, right? Whichever, like, we all want this over, regardless of how you think and where you're at. But we want it over so that we can go back to what we love, and what we love is directly related to how we relate to each other. So it's important that we don't lose that. It's important that you foster it. So Find a community where that is the case. Find people that think like that, that's what they want to talk about, instead of just continuing on with the exact same garbage that is not making us feel correct, right? I don't know if it's even actually going live or going to stay live. We're going to stay posted because I said a couple of words there that could get flagged. Regardless, just know this: you don't have to feel alone. You don't have to feel scared. You don't have to feel afraid or angry. You don't have to. And if there's really truly something worthwhile saving here, is how we relate to one another, how we treat each other. So, anyways, just want to let you know that I appreciate you watching and I love your faces. And I'll see you soon. Bye.